All right, hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us on today's session. We're going to be talking all about how to optimize your plumbing, HVAC, home service website for maximum conversion and lead flow. This is a topic I'm super passionate about because I've seen the impact it can have on the results from all of the different marketing that you might be doing in your plumbing, HVAC, home service business. And this is part, I really feel like your website and how well your website's built to convert is really just a small part of your overall internet marketing strategy. Like when we think about how to help you maximize your lead flow via the internet, there's SEO, there's pay-per-click, there's local service ads, there's the paid directories like eLocal Plumber, House, Front Porch, Nearby, right? There's Facebook advertising, there's YouTube, there's all kinds of things that come into play. But in my mind, kind of the foundation of all of that is your website. Having a good website that really is authentic to you and your company, that paints the picture of your brand and the type of service you're going to provide. And so in today's session, we're going to be going deep just on that particular aspect of your online marketing strategy, that website, and kind of the fundamentals of it. So a couple housekeeping rules. If you could turn off your cell phones, turn off Facebook, unless you're watching this on Facebook right now. And if you're serious about doubling or tripling the amount of leads that you generate from your website and from your online presence, just give this your undivided attention over the next 60 to 90 minutes. The other housekeeping rules I'll say is, let's make this interactive, right? You're here live, I'm here live. Let's not make this a one-way conversation where I talk for 60 minutes. Let's make it interactive. Like as I check in with you, unmute yourself, keep your webcams on. As I ask for you guys to volunteer yourselves to kind of be hot seated, be quick. The person that is quickest to respond or to kind of unmute themselves or type into chat is going to be the one that gets the laser focused feedback. So can we all agree to that? And just so I know that you guys are hearing me and seeing me, put a 1 in the chat here if you're good with those rules of engagement. Adriana says 1, Rick says 1, Adam, Javier, Serenity. Okay, cool. So we're good with this. We're going to keep it interactive. Fantastic. Thank you guys for engaging with me on the chat. I really appreciate it. So just real quick about who I am and why you should listen to me. My name is Josh Nelson. I'm the founder of Plumbing and HVAC SEO. We're on a mission to help triple the size of 1,000 plumbing and HVAC and home service companies over the next 5 years. I'm the author of the Complete Guide to Internet Marketing for Plumbing and HVAC Contractors. And I've been at it for quite some time, working with plumbing and HVAC contractors. But I'd say more than any of that stuff is the fact that I have worked one-to-one with plumbing and HVAC business owners from across the country in some of the most competitive markets, and been able to help them go from obscurity online to the point where they're now the dominant home service company in their market, generating a lot of the millions of dollars a year directly from their online marketing. And so what I'm going to be sharing with you today isn't based on theory. It's not based on something I read somewhere. It's based on real world experience working with companies just like yours and getting the results and kind of seeing, here's what worked, here's what didn't. Lots of split test data, lots of analytic data backing what I'm going to be showing you on today's session. And so I'd like to ask, is it okay with you if I share real examples and we keep this as practical as possible? If you're good with me sharing real examples and kind of going off the slide deck a little bit and just pulling up actual websites, put a 1 in comments here. Let me know if that's okay with you. Okay, good. Lots of 1s, lots of yeses. Fantastic. Thanks, guys. I appreciate that. And I will say, like, this is what we do, right? We've got a team of 30 full-time employees at our office here in South Florida, now mostly working virtual due to COVID. And this is what we do day in and day out, right? We build the websites, we write the content, we do the SEO, we run the paid search campaigns. And so if at any point you're like, hey, you know what, I'd like to have you guys look at my website or talk about, my specific situation, we'd love the opportunity to sit down with you and go through a consultative process to say, hey, here's what you're doing now, here's what we think might be better, and here's how we could work together to help you dial this in. And so, just know we're here to serve you. If that's something you'd like some help with, we'd love the opportunity to connect. So here's the problem as I see it, as it relates to your website, and kind of why this is even an important topic to carve out time to work on and carve out time to think about. The fact is, you guys, you plumbing, HVAC, home service business owners, make a big investment in marketing. Historically, you guys make a big investment. Over the years, it was the double truck ads and the yellow pages. More recently, you guys are making big investments in websites, in pay-per-click, in SEO. Most of you guys have tried at least 3 different internet marketing providers, whether it be one of the big companies or like the local guy or the person that you met in BNI. So this is not an industry where it's kind of like whatever, we all live off word of mouth. You understand you're willing to put money towards generating leads, generating sales in order to keep the phones ringing and keep the trucks running. But oftentimes, the traffic you generate from the different advertising you do doesn't generate great results. Oftentimes what I'm hearing is there's a low return on investment, right? You're spending all of this money on advertising, whether it's SEO or pay-per-click or social media or radio ads or billboard ads, and there's just not a great return on investment. And it's not lost on me, the bigger challenge in this industry isn't generating leads, it's finding good technicians, it's training good technicians, it's keeping those technicians engaged, it's getting the amount of team that you need in order to keep up with the volume. I think that the big problem is if you don't generate enough leads to keep those technicians busy, to keep their trucks running, you have the potential for having parked trucks and an empty schedule, which could lead to technicians walking out the door going to the competition, which I think is probably the biggest issue that makes this such an important thing to tackle. So the reality is, if you don't generate enough lead flow and you can't get a consistent return on investment, you won't be able to grow. You won't be able to take things to the next level in your business. And so the opportunity, as I see it, kind of what we're looking to solve for on today's session is to make sure that you've got a great website that's built to convert, and that you're consistently able to take the visitors that are getting to the website through the different advertising that you do and convert them to leads and to book jobs at the highest level possible. So you're not spending money and just seeing it kind of go down the drain, so to speak, but they're actually converting into revenue, and it's converting into sales and opportunities for you. Ultimately, what we're after is a full schedule, right? With trucks running and kind of the ability to say, okay, I can go out and hire another 2 to 3 techs. I can go out and add 1 to 2 trucks in the next couple of months because I've got this volume and I'm able to keep the trucks busy, keep the trucks running. And ultimately, that's going to drive momentum and consistent growth. And so that's what we're after, right? A great website that's built to convert, that helps you maximize the ROI from all the different advertising you do so that you can keep the phones ringing and the trucks running. And here's what I believe, and why we're focused on websites today. I believe that your website is the hub, right? I mean, at the end of the day, whether you're doing radio ads or you're doing billboard ads or you're sponsoring the local T-ball league, or you're doing big SEO or big pay-per-click, ultimately your customer is going to wind up on your website, and they're going to have a snap judgment like, does this seem like the kind of company I want to hire for that new HVAC system, or to have come to my home to resolve the problems that I'm having with my home's heating or my home's plumbing system? And if your website is the final part of the funnel where they're going to end up to make a decision whether they call you or don't call you, or they click off and go to your competition, we want to make sure that we've got that nice and tight and that it's built to convert at the highest level possible. If you agree, like if you really believe that the website obviously is going to be a massive conversion point in your process, in your buyer's journey, just give me a 1 in chat here, just so we can make sure we're on the same page. We want to get this dialed in. This is important because it's going to impact all of the money you spend elsewhere. Yeah. Okay. Fantastic. We're on the same page then. So I just want to share a quick illustration here on kind of why conversion is so important, why it's worth spending the time to focus on this. Typical home service business. Let's say you generate 1,500 visitors per month to your website. And so let's say they got there from SEO, or they got there from pay-per-click, or they got there just because people know you and they know your brand and they're kind of winding up on your website. I've seen averages of between 5 and 15% conversion rate from visitor to caller on most plumbing, HVAC, home service sites. And so if you're kind of on the bottom of that threshold, it's kind of somewhere around 5%, those 1,500 visitors should generate about 75 calls or leads for your company. And let's just say you're converting your leads at about 30%, from visitor to booked job, or from caller to booked job. That would be 22 booked jobs. And let's say your average transaction value is $450. I know a lot of you guys, that's a very low transaction value. Some of you are much higher than that, but let's just say it was $450. You generate about $10,000 in revenue on those 1,500 visitors. So I'd like to see, if there were 2 conversion points there that you could improve, and that you could obviously improve through your internet marketing, what would they be? Somebody either unmute or kind of let me know in chat, just so I can make sure that this example is ringing home and that it's going to be clear. Anybody brave enough to unmute here?
Can you ask the question one more time?
Looking at that scenario number 1, right? If there were 2 conversion points that you can improve, which ones do you think they would be?
You would convert the people, the job being booked. So you'd want more people that you would make sure your CSRs book more jobs.
Yep.
So get that to about a 60% conversion. Also,
Yep.
You want to try and convert the people who's visiting your website. So the more people who visit, well, you have the same amount of visitors, but if your website's really nice and has a nice hub, then you'll get more phone calls. So you want to make sure you convert from website views to website callers.
Perfect. Yep, that's exactly what I was looking for, right? If we can improve the conversion rate from visitor to caller, we're going to have more leads, right? The other thing, obviously, that you just mentioned there is you want to focus on the amount of leads that convert into booked jobs, right? And there's tools and strategies we can put in place for that. And so from an online marketing perspective, those are the 2 key areas. From a business optimization perspective, your average ticket, right, will drive how much money you make for each of those jobs that you go out in the field and do, right? So you got to get that number up as well. So for today's session, we're just thinking about, the visitor to caller or the visitor to lead ratio. So if we can kind of change that up for the same amount of traffic without having to do more pay-per-click, without having to buy more local service ads, without doing anything else, if we can just optimize that to 15%, that's kind of in the higher average area that we're seeing. I'm going to show you examples of plumbing HVAC websites converting at 30%. But kind of if you look at the norm, kind of between 5 and 15% is the average. So if we can just go from 5 to 15% for the same amount of traffic, we would generate 225 leads for the same amount of traffic. And if we just kept the conversion rate the same, didn't improve the CSR, didn't improve the marketing automation on the back end, didn't improve our average ticket, that would generate $30,000 in revenue for the same amount of traffic. So that's really why website optimization is so important, right? And if you can take that from 15 to 30%, then now you're looking at more like 60,000 for the same traffic. Does that make sense? Give me a yes if it's clear. Like if we can just dial in our conversion rates, track our conversion rates, know what those conversion rates are, and improve them over time, we can make more money from the traffic we're already generating. All right, Donald says yes, Rick says yes, lots of yeses. Okay, cool. So I want to share an example here, just real world example. One of the companies we work with is Laney's, and they're based in Fargo, North Dakota. They're full service plumbing, HVAC, electrical. We started working with them. This is their website over here on the far left, right? Just a solid company, but just a very plain website, plain picture of the truck, plain text, not a lot of authenticity, not a lot of imagery, no way to chat. We're going to talk about the different conversion elements here in a second. and we updated the site, using the strategies I'm going to be unpacking on today's session. And what's crazy is, without changing the traffic to the site much, because they already had a pretty dominant brand in the area, they were the known entity, the amount of callers from 1 month to the next went from 55 to 317 calls. And that's just as a function of putting a better website with better conversion elements in place to really move the needle. And if we kind of fast forward things here, you can see they generate over 900 calls per month via their website now. And they're like at an average of $2.68 per lead, just a really extreme example. And if we kind of fast forward here to even more recently, that's 1,598 tracked calls during a 1 month period directly via the internet. So, I'd love to hear from you. Just before we dive into this, why is getting your website built to convert important for you? Like, you've carved out time, you're on today's session. Why is this important for you? I'd love to hear from either one or two of you, or just pop it into chat for me.
Well, my only comment, Josh, is that you want to maximize your return on your investment. And if those of us participating today, I would think that we probably don't feel like we're getting a return on investment like we should. And we want to know how to do it better. So
to maximize your return on investment?
Correct.
Excellent. Dave, I see you've raised your hand. David Burns?
Yeah, I like to kind of like handpick my jobs a little bit more. So I feel like the more jobs that are coming in, I can kind of skim off the frosting and let the loser jobs go to the other guy.
Got it. So cherry pick the deals that are going to be higher transaction value, the right kind of customer, as opposed to feeling like you have to take everything.
Right.
I like it. Yep. 100%. Rodney says, I've got scenario number one, so let's help you solve for that. Adriana says, we need to maximize call volume. Awesome. So that's why I think we're all on the same page. That's why this is so important. So let's spend some time giving you the ideas and tactics and the things you can change on the website that will absolutely improve the conversion rates. So I've shared this in chat. If you're watching this after the fact, if you go to plumberseo.net/convert-workbook, it should redirect you to the workbook for today's session. And so feel free to open this up just to help yourself track along. For the sake of simplicity, I've made it a Google Doc. And the reason I like Google Docs is because it's easy to make a Google Doc your own. It's easy to edit and modify a Google Doc. And so I'm going to give you guys just a second here. Pull this doc up, and I want to show you how to make a copy of it. And that way you can write on it and know that this is your version that you can take back and kind of brainstorm around and kind of flesh out. So we've got 50 or so of you on with us right now. I'd like to see 50 or so of you open this document up, because that's how you're going to get the most out of today's session. So just click that link in chat. And I'm seeing you guys come in. Okay, perfect. What I want to have you do is go, once you're logged into this document, and it's simple, but it's very, very useful. I want you to go File, Make a Copy. So there's just in the top right-hand corner there, or left-hand corner, it says File, Make a Copy, and then rename it for yourself. So like your company name at the end of it. Optimize for maximum conversion and lead flow dash, bills, plumbing, and HVAC, for instance. There you go, Christian. Thanks. So I just want to give you a minute so you have your own version of this, and then make your copy. Give me a 1 in the comments once you've got this done, just so I know that you guys have it and I'm not going to press forward too quickly. All right, Susan's got it. Alfredo's got it. Dana's got it. Okay. If you have any questions on how to get to the document or how to, make your copy of it, just let us know in chat. But I'm gonna keep pressing forward. Just want to make sure we're all there. All right, good. Okay, so come back to your screen. I know I told you to close the other windows and stuff. Just come back to the screen so I can walk you guys through this. I'm going to rapid fire the 12 conversion elements, and then we're going to show real examples, and we're going to really unpack it further. But the number one thing you want to make sure you're doing on your website is speaking to your target avatar, right? Being really clear on who that ideal customer is, what their frustrations are, and speaking to that, right? I find most plumbing, HVAC, home service websites, they talk technical, they talk about, the type of equipment they have, they talk about, their company and why they're cool and why they're great, as opposed to talking to that customer who's annoyed that their plumbing's not working and concerned that the person's not going to show up, and they're going to waste a bunch of their time. Like, if you can get into that person's mind and really speak to them with the copy and the imagery and the videos and stuff on your website, that's going to have a big impact on conversion. I think it's one of the biggest things I see missed, is just not speaking to the psychological triggers of that homeowner that's in need of help, right? So I'm going to show some examples of that. The second thing is we want to be real, and when we want to use authentic imagery. Again, somebody gets to your website, they've got a problem, they're looking to get it solved. The other thing they're trying to figure out is, like, is the person on the other side of this? You have to be logged in, Joe, in order to make a copy. So make sure you're logged into Google, like on Google Drive, in order to make your copy. So that, people want to do business with people they know, like, and trust. And so what I see with most home service sites is you kind of pull up the site. It might look good, but it's very vanilla, right? There's all kinds of stock pictures. There's the stock picture of the smiling family. There's the stock picture, maybe of a technician. Looking at our clients that convert best and get the highest conversion rates, their websites have authentic imagery. So there's real pictures of the owner. There's real pictures of the team. There's real pictures of the people that serve the community. And so I'm really going to want to suggest you infuse some authenticity and some real life imagery of your company into the site, right? So people get to know you a little bit before they have to call and do business with you. And a lot of times it happens in a snap judgment type of way. Not that they're going to look and browse at every picture of you and your team and your trucks and your equipment, but when they see a team shot, when they see the owner, it just has a psychological aspect of, okay, this is a real company, there's real people behind it, and there's a higher level of trust. The other thing you want to use is video and multimedia. Some people just like to read, some people like to see images, some people like to watch video. And so if you can have video that talks about your company, talks about the problem they're facing, talks about like what you do and what your unique selling proposition is, that's going to engage, and it's going to help with conversion. So the videos I recommend would be a welcome video. Hey, welcome to the website. If you're here, you're probably having a problem with your plumbing and HVAC system. You're in the right place. We've been serving the greater Dallas market for over X amount of years. We pride ourselves on answering the phone live, getting someone out to you right away, leaving your house nice and clean, offering upfront pricing, right? Really speaking to the things they need to hear. That's going to play really well. Just a simple homepage website. And I'll show you some examples of this. Videos for each of the services, right? A lot of us, if we're thinking about SEO, we're thinking about pay-per-click, we set up pages for the different things we do, right? Indoor air quality, drain cleaning, repiping. If we want to help those pages convert, we want to have text about it, but if we can have a video speaking to each of those services, again, ideally from the owner of the businesses or the main technician or someone that's a spokesman for the company, that's going to really help with your conversion. And then, have some content explaining why somebody should choose you versus the competition. What's unique about you? Is it some type of warranty that you provide? Is it the fact that you've got, hundreds of online reviews? Like, why should somebody choose you versus the competition? Number 4 is we want to make sure we're leveraging social proof. Again, I'm going to show real examples of this. I just want to, breeze through this really quickly. It's one thing to say that you're great. It's another thing for other people to be saying good things about you and the services you provide. And so what you want to do is take the reviews that you have from Google, from Yelp, from Angie's List, from testimonials that the customers have provided, and make sure that that's prominent on your website. the review mentality and the mentality to go and check you out and see what other people are saying about you is probably the most powerful conversion factor on your website. So we want to make sure, yes, that it's featured on the site, and know that they're going to go and look up those reviews probably at least quickly on Google, on Yelp, on some of the other sites, just to make sure, yeah, you say it here, but is it congruent when I look you up across the internet? Additionally, we want to make sure we have the basics in place. And, for most home service sites, these basics get missed all the time. Having a phone number in the top right-hand corner, your eye naturally is going to gravitate on any website to the top right-hand corner. And so you want to have the phone number there where somebody can just dial your number right in that area from the site. Ensure that they have the ability to engage in either a chat or a web form, right? Some people are going to want to convert in different ways. Predominantly to this point, going 2021, people are picking up the phone and calling. There's a transition happening where people want to use text message more and more. And so if we can tap into that, that's going to help with conversion. But just as you look at your website, are you giving people the opportunity to engage and to solve their problem in a variety of ways to make it as simple as possible for them to get their problem solved and for them to get one of your technicians into their home? We want to leverage credibility symbols, right? If you're part of the local chamber of commerce or the local, school league, if you're, less so now, but if you're part of the BBB, if you're an Angie's List Super Service Award winner, those little credibility symbols, when you can kind of infuse them into the website, help people feel confident that you're a professional, that you're going to do what you say you're going to do. You also want to make sure that you have clear calls to action. This one's harder without me showing you, so I'm going to show you guys live these ones. But if you've got a page that talks about indoor air quality and the cool indoor air quality systems that you provide and the benefits of those systems, you want to make sure at the bottom of that page and pretty much any page on your site, you tell them what to do next. Hey, so call us now to schedule an appointment, or call us now or fill out this form, or start a chat by clicking the button below. Just make sure that all of the pages have a very clear and overt, here's the next step. Here's the thing we need you to do next. Leverage special offers and incentives. I know not all of us like to be the discount company. Not all of us like to, be the coupon person. But if somebody's coming into your website blind and they're trying to decide whether they should contact you or somebody else, if you can give them some type of incentive based on the page that they're on. So if they're on the drain cleaning page and you've got some offer, first time customers save X on your drain cleaning, we find that can have a little bit of a bump on how well that page will convert. The other one that's mission critical here is optimizing for mobile. We're finding that north of 60% of your visitors are going to get to your website from a mobile phone. So make sure that your website is optimized for mobile. And that goes beyond just making it fit to the screen. Like that, I think most of us know it's got to fit to the screen. There's got to be a tap to call, but you want to optimize the experience. If we know that they're going to probably look at 3 key areas on our site, we want to make bubbles available there. Just like, okay, here, go look at our reviews, check out our coupons and click here to schedule a call or to call us right now. You want to really simplify the experience for them so that when they get to that page on their mobile phone, it's easy for them to get around and to make the decision we want them to do. We also want to make sure we're leveraging chat. Give me a 1 in comments if you've got some type of chat mechanism on your site, outside of a phone call, outside of a web form, but there's an ability for someone to engage via 2-way. Rodney, Adam, Dana, Jordan. And I know there's a little bit of pushback on this at some level. You're like, I don't know if I want to put chat. How am I going to keep up with it? Is anybody even going to want to chat with us? What I'll tell you is today's consumer has shifted to the place where they'd much prefer to do a text message with you than to have to pick up the phone and call the office, wait through the queue, talk to somebody, and schedule an appointment. And so if you can get to the place where you make it easy for them to chat with you and they can actually book their job and they can feel like, okay, this is going to get taken care of, that can have a huge impact on your conversion rates. Think about offering the ability for people to schedule right from the website. So if you're using Service Titan or using House Call Pro or using some of the more modern web-based dispatch platforms, give people the ability to pick a time, right? And just make sure that you've got the reminder sequences set up. Site speed is mission critical for conversion. So just looking at your website, making sure that it loads fast, and we're talking about, in a matter of seconds, as opposed to like 10 or 15 seconds, is super important. I'm going to give you some tools like GT metrics that will make it easy for you to say, okay, are we having a load speed problem that could be causing us conversions, that could be causing us lost opportunities? And again, we want to leverage automation. I'm going to talk about some cutting edge automation tools that are available now where we can make it easy for the customer to start a conversation and then make automation happen where they get followed up with quickly, they get scheduled in, and nobody on your team has to chase. I think Susan said we have a chatbot. So using things like chatbots and marketing automation can give you a massive competitive advantage versus the other home service companies in your area. So these are the 12 critical elements that you want to use to enhance conversion. I'm going to open up and kind of show some real examples. Any questions on these? Does anybody have like a burning, like, okay, what about this? Or, hey, I've got a question about that, before we dive into some real examples? Is this helpful? Give me a 1 if it's helpful and maybe you've already start to see like 1 or 2 things you might be able to put in play. Awesome. Okay, so I see some 1s coming in. Fantastic. Okay, so let's look at a couple of examples, just kind of looking at that list and the different things that can have an impact on your conversion rates. One of the clients we work with is Valley Plumbing. They're based in the Salt Lake City area. Their plumbing and drain cleaning is their main thing. They do a lot of excavation work as well. And so I'm going to pull up their website and I want to walk through the elements that really have impacted the conversion rates on this site, because we pay close attention to little tweaks that can have a big impact on their conversion rate. So the first thing I want you to notice, and you guys are seeing the screen, you're seeing the website, give me a yes or a thumbs up towards the screen if you're seeing the website right now. All right, I got some thumbs up. Okay, sweet. So the first thing I want you to see is there's a chat bubble that has come up almost instantaneously when I get to this site. That's because your consumer would prefer to engage via chat than to pick up the phone and call your office. And I know most home service companies are hell-bent on the phone call. Yes, and I agree that for years and years, it was just, we need to generate the phone call. We need to generate the phone call. If you can just open your mind a little bit and accept that your customers would prefer to engage via chat, and if you can give them the confidence that chat will actually resolve their problem, not just to like, okay, ask a question or two, but to the place where that chat can actually take them across the finish line, have a technician dispatched and scheduled, you're going to be 5-6 years ahead of the competition. And so we found this chat works extremely well. And there's lots of chat options. We can talk at the end a little bit about some chat tools that are available, whether you want to man the chat yourself or whether you want to have a third-party service doing it for you to help along that process. But you'll notice this is a big part of this website. So I talked about a couple of things. I talked about having a phone number up in the top right-hand corner. Yes, chat is powerful, but still the lion's share of your conversions are going to come from people dialing the phone number, right? So make it easy for them to find that phone number, but also give them the ability to schedule online. We want to give them at least 3 ways to convert, right? So way 1 would be pick up the phone and call our office. Way 2 would be let's start a chat. And then way 3 would be let's let them book an appointment right within our dispatch system. And so Valley Plumbing uses Service Titan. And so we're able to push it in as a soft scheduled appointment into Service Titan. Somebody goes in here, they pick their day, they pick their time, and it just says, hey, look, we've tentatively scheduled you for Thursday at 3 or whatever the case is. And then their team double verifies. They call and say, yep, you're booked. Or they might say, hey, Thursday at 3 didn't actually work. We'll reschedule it. So give me a 1 if that makes sense, kind of giving them more than one mechanism to convert. This makes a big difference, right? Well, let's give them a couple ways. The next thing is I talked about personality and authenticity. People want to do business with people they know, like, and trust. And so having real smiling faces of the real people behind the business, whether you believe it or not, will absolutely impact your conversion rates. And so we can see right here, we've got Lawrence Snow, the owner of Valley Plumbing. We've got Robbie Snow, his son, and we've got real people with real trucks. Do you see how this feels real? Put real in chat. If you get to the site and you feel like this looks like a real company with real people with a solid operation that's actually going to show up and solve my problem. Yeah, absolutely. Lots of reels coming in. This type of website definitely outperforms. And we literally work with 300 plus plumbing, HVAC, home service websites. We can look at the data. We can look at the conversion rates. This site converts very well. And one of the main reasons is the professionalism, the branding, and these authentic images. The other thing I want you to see is that before even having to scroll through the website, before even having to read a stitch of content, because a lot of your customers don't read, they don't care, they see an image, they feel like, okay, this looks solid. Right within this frame, I've got everything I need to book the appointment, to feel like, okay, this looks like a quality operation, to see they're available 24/7, which might be like one of your customers' big fears or apprehensions, and exceptional service, quality workmanship, 24/7. So that's just right there above the fold. Now, if we scroll down, we talk about the service area. We talk about the VIP program. We talk about the various different services. We've got those social credibility factors, right? We're talking about Home Advisor, all of these reviews, BBB accredited since this time. Online reviews, like what are our customers saying about us? The opportunity to go and read lots and lots of more reviews, video and multimedia. So this is an example of hey, listen, welcome to our website. This is who we are. This is what we do. This is, why people work with us. This is what you can expect. So, I mean, I could go into more depth. This is just a high level example. This website converts really, really well. These are the key factors that kind of drive it. I do want to show you guys some metrics. So over the last 30 days, or like in a 1 month span, you can see here 510 leads tracked from their online marketing on about a $10,000 investment. So that's SEO, pay-per-click, and like the paid spend aspect, the management behind it. We divide that, that's about $18.81 per lead, which is good, especially if you're looking at a blended average of paid search, organic, and the like. And we can see 333 came from SEO, like organic results, 115 through paid search, 61 through Google Maps. And really what makes it all like work, right, is this website converts at about 35%. 35% of the people that get to the website wind up converting either on the chat, on the phone, or through that conversion avenue. So there's an example of a home service site converting 35%. It's kind of some of the key aspects that make it convert as well as it does. Would anybody be willing to volunteer their website, and we can kind of like pull it up and use it as a real-time example, like just kind of looking at it through the lens of the 12 conversion factors we just talked about. We can just kind of use it as an example. If you're good to be on the hot seat here, put your website in chat. Okay, David Burns, let's pull up yours. Usually the people that volunteer their websites wind up with really good website. Okay, so we've got David Burns. This looks like professional plumbing services in, hard to tell where you're from. That's one thing I'll just say right off the bat. If I kind of come down here, Bayside. Okay. So looking at this from the lens of what we just talked about, all I see is one opportunity to convert, which is a phone call. I guess I can hit the contact us page and there's probably a form there. No mechanism to chat, no way to easily book into your dispatch platform. Those things stand out to me right off the bat. The kind of the initial impression of the website doesn't, like, can we see that there's a big difference between this initial impression and this initial impression? Dave?
Yes. Yeah, I know it's dated. That actually is quite an old website, and it's a hub. If you click on one of those bottom locations, this works both ways. So when someone dials in that they're in Brookfield, they'll get to this website. Then if you scroll down, then you click to the main website. So I know Google has kind of kibitzed this since this backloading, but I was the first one that did it in my market. In fact, one of the first ones that did it in the country. So they grandfathered me, and it's extremely effective. I'll always keep that aspect of it. A lot of
having
people,
the pages for the different cities and the different markets that you
Right.
serve.
because
That's
people,
that's a good SEO play. Yeah.
yeah, people in Milwaukee, especially on the North Shore, are very, they want someone from their area. And I've serviced that. Milwaukee is a tenth the size of Chicago. So all of Mega Milwaukee is my, it's a half hour from one end to the other, so it's a good market. And I know that the website's dated. My Bruce City marketing people want me to update it. I'm still going to come on board with you someday. Absolutely going to do it. Building my brain at these sessions. But yeah, everything you mentioned, the chat feature, all that. I've got to add all that. The thing is, I'm the only one in the office right now. It's a home office, but because of Corona, I can't really have anything other than a phone call and a couple of emails right now. And we're swamped. I do skim the frosting off the top of the cake. So
You choose the deals you want, right?
right. And my average ticket is $1,000.
Okay, good. Higher transaction value. So couple things for the rest of us watching that kind of stand out to me on this site. While we're rotating images of plumbing fixtures and stuff, the one that actually is probably most effective here is this image. You'd be better served just to leave this image static because nobody cares about this picture of the drip, right? Have the authenticity and the imagery here up front and center. It sounds to me like you're pretty articulate. It sounds like you'd probably do well on video. So just a quick video, it doesn't have to be crazy. I'm talking about take out your phone, stand by the truck and say, hey, welcome to the Dave Burns website. I'm Dave Burns, right? I serve this area. If you're having this problem, I'd love to help you. That would absolutely help with the conversion rate on the site itself.
Yeah. They've been nagging me. They've been nagging me to do that. I don't even have pictures in my gallery. I'm the guy that has the crazy personal life with the daughter with the stroke. That was my secretary, that whole story.
Yep.
But yeah, we're moving in that direction. The nice thing is I got plenty of work until I make the improvements I need. But yeah, you definitely, when you showed the duck people before, I don't even have my trucks wrapped, and I need to do, that's called disruptive advertising, right? What they're doing with their trucks. So the disruptive advertising, I do want to get my trucks done and then carry that over into my website. It's hard to find a good disruptive wrapper in my area right now, but looking.
Good stuff. Was this helpful, guys, to look at a real example here and kind of just put it through the lens of, what are we looking for from a conversion perspective? Let's see. Awesome. I'll pull up a couple of other examples kind of as we go. But Dave, thanks for putting yourself on the hot seat. I know that can be uncomfortable sometimes, but it's helpful for everybody to see real world examples here.
Yeah. Well, I always appreciate your critique is always right on the money. You're definitely the guy. You're definitely the guy.
Awesome. So I'm going to show another example of a website that converts, really well. And that's the Meridian Company based in East Lansing, Michigan. You can see we've got a COVID pop-up here, but if you look, unless it's disabled on this Chrome, there's an autoplay video which comes up that's really, really, really professional. We're leading with the reviews. We've got the phone number here in the top right-hand corner. We've got the welcome video of Craig Philippich kind of introducing their services. We've got all of the reasons somebody would choose them versus the competition. We've got videos of the actual customers. There is a chat widget. I'm not sure if there's some reason it's not coming up right now, but and we've got the web form. So we've got all of these different avenues for somebody to convert. And I'll kind of walk you through the conversion element on this or the data here. So 677 leads over the last month on a $7,886 investment. They're plumbing, HVAC, electrical, the whole gamut. About $11.65 per lead. Kind of good spread of where these leads come from and kind of where they originate from. But you can see about a 32% conversion rate on the site. And there's reasons these sites convert at this level, right? If we compare Dave Burns' website to Valley Plumbing and the Meridian Company, these factors have a big impact on conversion rates. Anybody else want to volunteer their site here? Kind of pull it up. Let's see. I see Trust Tiger posted in here. Fisher Electric. I'm going to grab Fisher Electric because the electricians tend to get left out, and I don't show a lot of examples of electrical. So let's see. Oop, I didn't do that right. FisherElectric.ca. I did that wrong. Hold on. Finish. Okay. Is this the right website, Nicole? Nicole posted this in. All right. So let's look at
Yes, this is the right one.
Awesome. So I think, when we look at a site like this, it looks great. Like, initially you look at it, you're like, wow, this looks super professional. But the thing that stands out to me, and I'd love to hear from you guys in chat, if this stands out to you as I look at this site as well, is that it's very generic. It looks beautiful, but it's generic, right? We've got this smiling family. We've got this picture of a high-end home. I don't know how large or small the operation is, but if you could put some imagery of the real company, of the real team, it's going to have a different feel. It's going to have a different conversion factor on this site. I like the fact the phone number's up here in the top right-hand corner. Let's see if we can actually go meet the team here. Let's see. All right, so there's an about us, but it really doesn't show any imagery and any authenticity on that front. I think that's an absolute area for improvement. We do have the ability to phone call, and we have the ability to fill out a form. I would definitely suggest adding a chat function of some sort, where somebody can start a chat and they can get their answers to their questions. It's our touch, sure finish.
Yeah, social media and then marketing, photos, all that stuff. We're in the midst of revamping that a little bit. I totally agree with what you're saying, though.
Yep, no doubt. I'm sure this actually is very responsive mobilely. It looks like, looks really good on a mobile device.
We took pride in trying to make sure at least all of that stuff was quick and good to function. But yeah.
Good stuff. Well, thank you very much for volunteering the site. I'm sure it works pretty well, but there are little things you can do that will really increase the conversion rate here. Excellent. Let me know if it's helpful to kind of look at examples and then look at others that are kind of on the hot seat here, just so I can make sure we're doing a good balance. Give me a 1 in comments if you like this. Okay.
Yeah, great feedback.
Perfect. Thank you guys. I appreciate that. So I want to show Nixco Plumbing, one of the companies we work with in Mason, Ohio, kind of serving the greater Cincinnati area. So you can see here, picture of the owner, and 9 times out of 10, when I talk with plumbing, HVAC, home service companies, and I say, I want to get a picture of the owner, I want to get a picture of the crew, I want to get authenticity on here, there's always pushback. But then when I can make the case like, look, people want to do business with people they know, like, and trust. And let's just put it up there and let's look at the conversion rate. over the first 30 to 60 days. Let's see what happens. And then they see the impact on the conversion and they keep themselves up there. Jeff was adamant about not being on the site. He doesn't like to put himself out in that way, but here he is, and he's kept it up there because it works, right? So we've got, check out the reviews, social proof, we got the phone number, and then we've got a couple different mechanisms to convert, right? We've got this phone number, we've got the chat function right here, let people chat via two-way text message. We've got a video of Jeff welcoming them to the website, talking about the problems that they're facing and why they're uniquely suited to help. We've got social proof, and you can just see like there's lots of trust, there's lots of authenticity behind this website. And it goes without saying, pull any of these websites up on mobile, you can't just squeeze the screen. There's some things we do on mobile that also help these sites convert really well for the mobile experience. So I'll kind of walk you through here the statistics on this particular site. So past month, 535 leads tracked, from organic, pay-per-click, Google Maps, the web forms and smart chat. That's 587 on a $5,879 investment. That's their management fees plus their ad spend, an average of $10 per lead. And the conversion really makes it work, right? If these sites converted at 10% or 12%, that average cost per lead would be significantly greater. So you can see here converting at about 38%. So I showed you some examples. We talked about the key variables that you need to do to improve the conversion rates on your site. Would love to hear from you guys. Like in chat, I want you to pause for a minute, and I want you to think about what you can put in place on your website and kind of what you'll actually do. And this is where the workbook comes into play. Like out of all of these different things, easiest thing to do would just to be to go in and bold the things that you'll do. Like, okay, wait a minute, we need some video, right? So let's bold that, or let's highlight that. We need to get chat on the website. Let's add that, right? I want you to make sure you walk away from today's session with action items. And like, oh, here's what we're going to change. Here's what we're going to put in place so that we can go from where we're at to a higher conversion rate. Because with a higher conversion rate, we can spend more to attract customers. Like we can grow the volume because we're converting at a higher level than the competition. We can afford to spend more per click, right? We can afford to be more aggressive with the different strategies we put in play if our website converts at a high level. So I'm going to give you a minute. Like I really do want to make sure this is actionable. Copy what you're putting or what you're bolding and put it into the chat, just so we can make sure that you're actually putting something in play. And if anybody wants to unmute and talk through it a little bit, I'd love to hear it. Joe says videos of me and website chat. Dave Burns says I got to get some videos on there. Leverage chat and a welcome video, says Javier. McClay. Clay says chat, get some chat on there. Blow it up and start over, says Igor. All right. Excellent. Fantastic. Good, good, good. So there's one other aspect of conversion I want to talk about. And I think this is probably the bigger challenge that I'm seeing home service companies face with their online marketing. It isn't necessarily not generating enough leads. It's that they're not converting the leads at the highest level possible that they get, right? We looked at, if we can improve conversion rate from visitor to caller or to chatter in this case, from 5% to like 20 or 30%, we're going to generate almost 3 to 5 times more leads from the traffic already getting to the site. But the other conversion factor that you really want to pay attention to is what percentage of those callers are actually turning into booked jobs. What percentage of those are actually turning into revenue for your business? And if there's things you can do to improve those two numbers, that's where you can get a multiplier effect. And so here's what I'm seeing, and here's the issue I see with most home service companies, is the real problem is like 50 to 60% of the inbound leads go unconverted. And like I said, we work with several hundred plumbing HVAC companies across the country, and we track the calls, right? And so we're able to hear what's happening on the other side of those calls. And for our clients that are dialed in on like ServiceTitan and other tools like that, we can really see like what's the average lead to book job ratio. And something like 50% of the people just don't convert. Like they were in the market, they picked up the phone, they went through the effort to call, but they didn't convert. So that creates a big gap. The other place that I see you guys falling down again and again and again is that web forms, like the form that somebody fills out or the chat that they start, like 90% of them fail to convert. And it's almost as if web forms are where leads go to die. How many of you guys have felt like, yeah, we get these web forms, but I don't know what happens with them. I don't have the time to follow with them. Nobody on my team is able to jump on that. Give me a 1 if you feel like in a lot of cases, web forms are just kind of like, they're like a dead end. 50-50 says Dave. Yep, a couple of you guys are saying that. So here's why. Here's why this conversion issue exists. Leads that don't get followed up with in 15 minutes or less go cold, right? Your customer today has so many different options. They go to a Google search. They go to an Angie's List search. They fill out a form, and if they don't hear back from you, somebody else called them back, or they solve the problem elsewhere, right? So you have about a 15-minute window, if that, to follow up with your customer and to book in that job. And if you're not Johnny on the spot or somebody on your team isn't Johnny on the spot, you're going to get leads that just go by the wayside. The other really important factor is that the average customer needs to be followed up with 5 to 7 times before booking. So I'm talking about the unconverted leads. Somebody calls in, they say, hey, I'm looking for a price to change my water heater, right? I know we've got scripts and things to say we don't get price over the phone. We got to get somebody out there to look at it. And they say, okay, let me talk with the homeowner. Let me talk with my wife, right? And they hang up. If you don't have a process to follow up with them 5 to 7 times via text message, via phone, via email, they're going to either like forget about you or they're going to wind up going with somebody else. And what I think a lot of home service companies is they have somebody to answer the phone and to dispatch the job, but there's absolutely nobody that's going to follow up on everybody that submitted a request more than once, right? How many of you agree, like, yeah, you don't have like a follow-up mechanism to convert unconverted jobs. Like you're going to take the ones that call in and say, yep, Tuesday at 3, boom, that's it. And the ones that don't, like, look, they must not have been that interested, right? We're not even going to deal with them. Give me a 1 if that's like a real reality for you guys. Like you take the ones that are ready, the rest of them, they got to call back in. They got to remember to follow up with you. Yep, some 1s. Tell me if that's not the case, but it seems like pretty much that's the case. Okay, so there's trend number 2. We don't follow up with the leads once they kind of reach out to us. The other big factor is that today's consumer prefers to interact via text message than phone. I talked about this a little bit at the beginning, but your customer today, if they have the choice to text message, they're going to choose text message 9 times out of 10. I'm sure you would do the same. I know I do. Like if I can solve something via text message as opposed to having a phone conversation, I'm going to choose the text message, right? So these are the 3 issues that you guys are facing. They're causing this lead conversion problem. And there's a great solution for this, right? Marketing automation has existed for, going on a decade now. Like people, like systems that can automatically call and automatically follow up with prospects. It hasn't been readily like implemented within the home services, plumbing, HVAC world until recently. But you can leverage automation to follow up with your web forms immediately. Like literally somebody fills out a form, automation can kick in to send them an email, to voice drop them and say, hey, thanks for reaching out. Would love to, connect with you, to automatically call your office. So all you have to do is press 1 so that you or somebody in your office is talking to that customer. That solves the 1-minute gap, right? Or the 15-minute gap. You can follow up with leads that fill out forms or fill out a home advisor request or fill out a Google local service request. You can follow up with them almost instantaneously without even having to lift a finger. And then you can also automate the follow-up so that those customers that don't book the job automatically get check-in text messages, automatically get a check-in email, automatically get a call from your office at least 5 times. That way you're following up with your leads immediately and you've got an ongoing communication process for those that don't convert. Let me know if you think, like, if you followed up with all of your leads in that way, if you think you would be able to book more of the leads that are going by the wayside right now. Just put a 1 in chat if you believe that, like, that would actually improve your results. Yep. Ones coming in. Yeah, there's no question about this. Math is simple here, right? And again, we're looking at this across our spectrum of clients. If a client generates 100 leads per month and they're converting typically about 30% because they don't follow up with all the leads in 15 minutes or less, they don't have any of the automation to follow up with the unbooked jobs. For those 100 leads, they wind up booking about 30 jobs. Let's say the average ticket's like $650. They generate $19,500 for those 100 leads. Now, if we can put marketing automation in place and we can really amp the conversion rate from lead to booked job, we're seeing those numbers go into the 70% territory, right? Just because every lead that fills out a form or starts a chat gets followed up with immediately. And they're followed up in the way that they want to communicate, which is typically via text message. So if we can take those same 100 leads and convert it 70% versus 30, for the same volume and for the same average ticket, we're looking at a $45,000 revenue from those same number of leads. So I mean, this can really have a huge impact on the results, and it really makes every lead that you generate more valuable, whether it came from from your website, whether it came from SEO, whether it came from pay-per-click. And we've developed a really cool mechanism for this. And it's a tool called Conversion Amp. It's a system we've developed for the industry that we can put in place on the back end, run it in tandem with ServiceTitan or in tandem with House Call Pro or in tandem with whatever dispatch platform you use, and shorten the follow-up process and automate the follow-through process. And so if that's something you're interested in learning more about, we'd love the opportunity to chat with you. Christian, do you have the link to the demo for that? That way people can actually just kind of look at it in the real world. I think it's go.plumberseo.net/demo. Yeah, right there. And this basically just walks you through the process. Like, so just pretending like somebody came to your website and filled out this form, they would get a couple of things. They get a call immediately, because what it's going to do, it's going to call the office and say, hey, you have a new lead. Press 1 to connect with them now. And they hit the 1 button. And then most of the time the person doesn't answer. But if they did, your team just called them back like within minutes of them submitting the form. When they don't answer, which is, again, probably like 9 times out of 10, a voicemail is left. And it's just a recorded voicemail that says, hey, it's Linda over here at Bob's Plumbing. You submitted the form on our website. We wanted to make sure we followed up right away, right? Automatic, but from the customer's perspective, you've just checked the boxes, right? You're on top of the ball. You called them back right away. You left them a message. And then to further that, they want to engage via text message. That's their preferred methodology. And so the next touch is they left the phone call, they left the message. Now they get a text message, assuming they gave us a cell phone number. They get a text message that says, hey, I just left a voicemail for you. You submitted the form on our website. Would love to, answer any questions that you have. Let us know if we can help, right? Just to start that conversation and just to get that ball rolling. And so that's just the very, very basic fundamentals. But if you followed up with every lead that quickly and in that methodology, you're going to see an improvement in your conversion rates, right? And then the other things we can put in place are great, with the marketing automation to follow up with them after that lead. So this is a game changer in terms of converting the leads that are already coming to your website. Just go to go.plumberseo.net/demo. Christian put some other links in here that you can check out and test it. Pretend like you're on your own website filling out this form and see the voicemail that you get, see the text message that you get. And if you can imagine that would amp your conversion rates, then let's put it in place for you. This is very, very cost-effective mechanism to help you generate more results from every lead that you get. Any questions on this, kind of the marketing automation play, how this will help you convert the traffic and the calls that you're already getting for your for your company? If that's cool, give me a 1 in chat if you feel like that's useful and helpful and something that will help you convert better. All right, Joe says awesome. Lots of 1s coming in. Okay, good. I'm excited about it. I'm already seeing the results of it for the clients that we work with, and it's giving our clients a really, really big competitive advantage. So here's our full circle, right? What's amazing to me is that if you can pick 2 of these things and put them in place on your website, usually you're going to see at least a 50% increase in your conversion rate. If you do all of this stuff, right, whether you do it with us or you just do it on your own or you do it with a team that you already have, you should be able to double the conversion rate from what you have in place currently. So hopefully this is useful. Hopefully this is beneficial. My goal today was to provide you value and give you clear, actionable things you can put in place to generate better results, right? To have better conversions on your website. If I accomplished that objective, give me a 10 in the chats. If you feel like this was useful, beneficial, and you can actually do something with it, awesome. All right, 10's coming in. 10. All right, awesome. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. You have the workbook, like you have the actionable next things to implement. Ideally, you've bolded or you've highlighted the things that you're going to go back and put in place. If you'd like some help, like if you'd like to have our team possibly look at your website, give you some ideas on how to make it convert better. If you'd like to hire us potentially to rework your website and really help you manage your overall internet marketing strategy, just put "Let's talk" in comments. That will be a signal to me and to my business director, Christian, to reach out. We'll schedule a low pressure consultation. We'll kind of look at your website. We'll show you what we can do, and we can talk about working together. So if that's something you're interested in, you can either put in let's talk, or you can go straight to plumberseo.net/schedule and grab a time on your calendar that works for you. Awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much for your interactivity here. Thanks for engaging with me. Thank you for those of you that volunteered your websites. We're here to serve. We're here to support. If there's anything we can do, let us know. And if you have any questions, I'm glad to kind of talk through any questions you might have before we wrap up today.
Hi there, it's Desia from South Africa.
Hey, how are you?
Very good. Thanks so much for everything. It's been fab, and thanks to everyone that's been chiming in. It makes it so much better.
Thank you.
In South Africa, we have the standard operating system is if someone phones in, the first thing they ask is, what is your call out charge? And I was just wondering how they operate in the US. You guys were talking about we don't give prices until we've got there and given you a quote. And I'm just wondering, I know it's not necessarily website, but we're getting the lead thrown out before we even get to talk to them about price because we above average on our call out charge.
I think that's a great question the group can probably speak to. So he's asking, how do you guys address the objection to the question, what's your dispatch fee or your call out charge in South Africa? How are you guys addressing that? I'm sure a lot of you guys have some insights you can share here. Be brave. Joe, Javier, Rob, come on, guys. Help Rodney out.
Hey, Josh, I would say if a customer don't want to pay like a service call fee to come out, then they're not your customer. Because if they don't want to put any skin in the game, then they definitely don't want to pay our price. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that too. There's a company called Plumber's Success. I took one of their seminars too, and that $79 service call, he says, absolutely stick to, unless you're hungry or you got a good feeling about someone, stick to it, make them pay it, because until they pay that $79, they're not even a customer. You go to their house, they're not giving you any money. You have no relationship. Once money passes back and forth, now you can treat them differently. So what I tell them is, if you want a free estimate, you go on a pile with the other free estimates. If you want to be treated like a job where we actually schedule you in and you become our customer, then we will spend time with you. And hey, that $79 is a bargain for the guy I'm sending over. He is, you're going to get more than your money's worth of information. And like Serenity said, those 79, those people who don't want to pay, those are tire kickers. They're looking for handymen. Half the time they don't even fix it. They wrap it with duct tape. You don't want to waste your time with them. I know it's hard to do at first, but once you get into the habit, 95% of the people that call me, once I give them a little spiel, will pay that service call. The ones I want. I've already the ones that I don't want, I've already kind of tried to say things to lose them anyway. You want to lose about 15 to 20% of the people that call you, depending on your market.
Yep, that's right.
Helpful. Good stuff, Dave. Rodney, does that help?
It's fantastic. We'll change our tech going forward.
Awesome. Thanks, Dave, and Serenity for jumping in on that. Excellent. Well, hey guys, thank you so much for sticking around. Thanks for engaging with me. If you have follow-up questions, I'm here to help. Let me know, like kind of as you roll these things out, even if you decide to do it on your own, shoot me a message. Be sure you're in the Plumbing and HVAC Marketing Mastermind group. Let us know what you're up to. Let us know how we can help point you in the right direction. And we'll talk to you guys again soon. All right, guys, have a great day.